The US government spends $6.3 trillion a year. It buys many different types of services and products and things you may not realize. Of course, construction, but did you know they also buy real estate services, insurance, performing arts, and even legal services? There's many, many different types of things that they buy. The first step to identify whether they buy what you sell is to look up the NAICS code associated with your work, and that stands for North American Industry Standard. An easy way to do this is on a website called NAICS.com. This isn't a US government site, but it's one that I find particularly easy to navigate. You can search by keyword, but what I like to do on that page is a drill down table, which allows you to go from broad to very narrow uh, search for your work and to get to that specific code that's associated with what you do. You're going to want to write that down. Most likely, you'll find 2 or 3 or even more codes that relate to what you do. Now, in your workbook, I've written down these websites and these words that you may be unfamiliar with, so you can have a reference for that as we go. Now that you've got these codes, you go to another website called usaspending.gov. And here you can find out what the agencies are buying this particular type of work associated with that code. So what I recommend you do, there's going to be a lot of data there, so you're going to want to filter it down to more detailed. On the left side of the screen, there's filters. Under the year, I would select the last 2 fiscal years and then scroll down to find the area where you can enter your NAICS code and just do one at a time. Once you enter your code, you'll get a resulting table. And that table is going to give you things, information like contract number, company name that won the contract, the start and end date of the contract, and even how much money was obligated for that work. If you click on one of the contract numbers, you can get even more information, such as the set-aside status, which you'll learn about a little bit later, and even how many offers the government received when they bid that contract. So don't go too far down the rabbit hole with the information that's in there. It can be a lot and overwhelming. Really, what you're going to want to look for are the agencies that are spending money on your NAICS code, the companies that are winning the work, and any set-aside status that you're tending to see maybe over and over again. And also, if you find a particular contract that sounds really interesting, write down that contract number. In case you didn't know, the government, US government tends to buy the same things over and over. So maybe it issues a 3-year contract. When that contract's over, it just reissues the same work. So even though something's already been awarded, it's not really too late because in 2 years or 3 years or whenever that contract is ending, that work will come back up for bid. So now you've kind of armed with your NAICS code and your list of agencies and prime contractors, as well as some specific contracts you're going to want to track for rebid. You're kind of ready to take the next step in your search for opportunities.